All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin. Welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It's so good to connect with you guys. Honestly, I love this sort of hour and a bit therapeutic sessions with each and every one of you guys. I hope you guys feel the same as well. And you know what? No hard feelings to any fans out there. At the end of the day, the respect is far more important. It's football. So, but we're passionate. We're very passionate about what we talk about, the different topics. And, you know, at times we will not agree, and that's fine. Different perspective. But, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to talk about so many different things. And it's quite mad at the moment. It really is. I can feel, I don't know about you guys, I can feel the journalists out there. They're brewing something. You know, Matt Law yesterday with an absolute banger of an article talking about Thomas Tuchel, how he needs to be very careful. You know, I just wonder if Frank Lampard was the manager, had he done that same style of article. Matt Law comparing Lampard's tenure with Tuchel's. Matt Law saying Thomas Tuchel's risking a lot with Lukaku, you know, publicly coming out and stating. I mean, it's not just Matt Law. Liam Twomey now also I feel like he's got like some sort of subliminal message that's going around. And I feel these journalists, they're ready to pounce. They are ready to pounce, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go through a lot of things today. We'll talk about Lukaku. We're going to talk about Eden Hazard. The madness continues with Eden Hazard. Honestly, the fan base is so in deep with this particular guy. I can understand the sentimental value, but we'll obviously talk about that. Christensen, he's destined to leave, ladies and gentlemen. He's destined to leave, so we'll talk about that. And Christian Pulisic's dad is also adding, you know, petrol to the fire. He's having a little bit of a dig at Thomas Tuchel as well. So it's very interesting. Good to see so many people already in the stream after 2-3 minutes. Please smash the like button. Over 50 people already. We are going to have fun. We are going to have a lot of laughter. We're going to assess a lot of things. And I want to see what you guys have to say as well. A lot of my regulars are already here. Smash the like button, number one. Get those likes up to well over 50 immediately. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. Hit the bell notification. You know how it goes. We're very close to 10,000 subscribers. So, yeah, let's get there. Let's get those likes up. Let's get those likes up to 50 immediately. We're going to try and aim 100 and beyond. We had a very good stream yesterday, and we're going to try and replicate that again. Kartik Sharma, really good to see you, my man. I think we need to offload Lukaku because he's playing only for money and not for the club and the manager. It's very interesting. The journalists are trying to spin something now by saying Lukaku's getting scapegoated. He's the easy target. They're trying to derail away from the issues of Lukaku and trying to sort of say, well, Thomas Tuchel's the one who's not getting the best out of him. So we're going to explore all of this. There's some interesting news that's floating around. Sai Krishna, good to see you. Miz, I really want to know what your opinion is about this. Hazard has never been replaced. Would you bring him back? Or the only player technically close to Hazard is Podence, fast and strikes the ball well. Podence is a very good player. Whether he's technically, yes, he does remind me of Hazard, but whether he's a direct replacement of Hazard, I don't think so, because Podence is not going to do the numbers that Eden Hazard was doing. So I wouldn't personally go for him. But yeah, we can definitely talk about that. We'll definitely talk about Eden Hazard, the whole scenario of him coming back. That's, you know, how the Chelsea fans would want him to come back. We'll definitely talk about that. How Real Madrid wants to get rid of him. All of that. Aldra, good to see you, my man. Lonwabo, really good to see you. Fuad, good to see you. Jeremy, good to see you. Luke, Charles, Declared, my man, the Australian brother. Shubajoti, one of my favorites. Good to see you, my man. Matthew is here. Clement is here. Pulisic out. Come on, straight away. Pulisic out. Man, let's hear out the news before we have some player out. Shriram, good to see you. There are a lot of factors to be considered before signing an attacker. Bringing back Eden raises a lot of questions. Can he be consistent? We can't sign a player just because he's better than what we have. Not just consistent. He, I think, needs another surgery. There's talks about him getting another surgery. So the best days for Eden Hazard is gone, ladies and gentlemen. ENTC, good to see you. Rahul Singh. Joash A, good to see you. Nash, my man, is he. CFC Fahim, good to see you, my man. Good to see you. Amber is here. Ryer is here. Matt Ball, good to see you, my man. Akil is here. Hey, Miz, have you heard about Hugo Ekitike rumor? I've seen the news. I've got no idea who this brother is. And honestly, I'm not going to talk about him because I don't know who he is. So I would need to see a little bit more about this player, a few more news about him so we can sort of formulate a show around him if need be. Tony Chelsea, good to see you, my man. Ordinary Folk, good to see you. Crook Villa, good to see you. Deals, it's been a while. Good to see you. Tariq, good to see you. Jeremy, good to see you. Biggie Wolf, good to see you. Camille, good to see you. Jansen, oh, look at this. It is a full house today. The regulars are coming in thick and fast. Matt Ball saying, need to sort out a podcast collab. Yeah, man. Well, why not? Let's do that. Pedro, good to see you as well. Okay. Now that we've got the formalities out of the way, 70 of you guys are live right now. Let's get those likes up to 70 straight away, immediately, without any hesitation. Let's get those likes up. Jagadish Ram, good to see you as well. Okay, we're going to start with Romelu Lukaku. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring this particular news up. Yeah, I want to see what you guys have to say about this as well. Okay, this was the first sort of news that got out. I think it was from an Italian source. Right now, anything about Lukaku, I believe it. So it is what it is. Romelu Lukaku was expecting a whole different situation at Chelsea and reportedly wants to return to Italy. Was expecting a whole different situation at Chelsea. What were you expecting, my man? I mean, are you not well paid? Is London not one of the top cities to live in? You're in the Premier League. You're in the home of the European champions. You're under one of the best managers out there. You're playing for Chelsea Football Club, which, let's be honest, is a bigger club than Inter Milan, okay? I mean, yeah, sure, you might have enjoyed there. You've done a madness there. You've loved the fans there. But what do you mean? Was expecting a whole different situation at Chelsea? What? The audacity of this particular player. And you know what? I actually believe this. I actually believe these quotes. As I said, I believe in everything that's coming in regards to Romelu Lukaku because this guy is egotistical. He's so egotistical. He has the guts to sneak behind your manager and do interview, and then have the audacity to say, I don't know what the backlash is all about. I'm not sure why the Chelsea fan base is all angry. What's going on? I didn't say anything out of line. This man, do you know what? I'm going to get to more of this particular news because the journalists are trying to spin a particular picture now. The journalists, ladies and gentlemen, they're trying to make it seem like it's Thomas Tuchel's fault. They're not really saying much about the fact that Lukaku has done a madness in recent time. Here's my honest opinion, and I want to see what you guys have to say. Ibrahim, my man, wa alaikum assalam, my brother Ibrahim, good to see you. Did you see Kazawa news? I did see Kazawa news. We'll touch a little bit on that. I mean, there's nothing much to it, to be honest. At the end of the day, Thomas Tuchel doesn't really fancy this player. the journalists are trying to spin something around Romelu Lukaku, ladies and gentlemen, and I want you guys to be very aware of this. They're trying to put the blame on Thomas Tuchel, saying he's not getting the best out of Lukaku. Lukaku's trying to do everything possible. It's Thomas Tuchel that is not doing the right thing. It is Thomas Tuchel that's doing the wrong thing, coming publicly and talking about Romelu Lukaku's deficiencies in the last game against City. Here's the thing. Romelu Lukaku can sneak and do a interview and talk down on Chelsea and talk down on Thomas Tuchel by saying he's changed his module. And Thomas Tuchel does not have the right to call him out when he plays poorly. Thomas Tuchel doesn't have the right. Lukaku brought the club to disrepute. Lukaku going around talking how he misses Lautaro. Lukaku saying how Inter fans are the best. Lukaku saying that he would like to return to Inter at his prime. I thought you are at your prime already. And do you know what? He's apologized. And I swear to you, I don't know about you guys, I thought, you know what? You've apologized. Let's move on. I don't have to really love you, but do your job. Do your job. Go out there, work hard, leave your sweat and blood on the field. And since that incident, he has been pathetic. And that's an understatement. He has been pathetic. There are certain fans who are now falling for these journalists and their articles. They are now saying, oh, but Miz, I've gone to matches. And it's not really all Lukaku's fault. Thomas Tuchel is playing 8 defenders. He's not doing any favors for Lukaku. Lukaku in that Man City game was tying his shoelace more often than actually pressing. Lukaku tied his shoelace minimum 2 to 3 times, and I don't even think he pressed 2 to 3 times. People forget the fact that, and once again I ask, I don't know about you guys, I've let go of that interview. It bothers me a little bit, but I don't care. Like, I've moved on, right? I've moved on. Him getting scapegoated, and I'm going to bring on Liam Twomey's tweet now. Liam Twomey thinks he's getting scapegoated, right? He's getting scapegoated. And he thinks it's got a lot to do with his interview. For me, I swear to you, I'm over that interview. I'm now talking about performances. His interview has nothing to do with his absolute A-class BS performances. His performance against City, his first touch, the amount of times he lost the ball, Lukaku, the amount of times Lukaku lost the ball was mad. The fact that he laid off the pass to Ziyech, who was in the offside position when Lukaku, the 98 million player, should be going for a shot. Of course, his scapegoating is justified. Lukaku's scapegoating is justified. He has been poor against Spurs over the 2 legs. He missed so many chances. I still remember Hakim Ziyech with a brilliant cross. Lukaku header missed by inches. Lukaku had another opportunity against Spurs, missed it as well. I think it was Timo Werner that put in the cross. Lukaku against Chesterfield, absolute poor. And now we've got journalists saying he's getting scapegoated. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what Liam Twomey is trying to paint the picture. Since a lot of people on Chelsea Twitter seem to be seeing what they want to see in something I said last week, because there's a lot of hoo-ha that's gone around with Liam Twomey, what he said. There's a lot of space, Twitter spaces that's been created. a lot of fans are talking about, is Romelu Lukaku a Thomas Tuchel signing? For me, I don't really care. I don't care whether he was a Romelu Lukaku signing or not. That's not the point. I don't give 2 cents. I don't give a rat's ass whether Romelu Lukaku was Thomas Tuchel signing or not. At the end of the day, he's in the football club. Now what can he do? And so far, what he's showing is not good. Not good at all. This is what Liam Twomey is saying. Since a lot of people on Chelsea Twitter seem to be seeing what they want to see in something I said last week, let me be clear. Chelsea and Tuchel were in agreement about signing Lukaku last summer. The team lacked a reliable goal scorer, and he was the best on the market. There's always an appetite for scapegoats at times like this, and Lukaku is an easy target. Liam Twomey, he's saying Lukaku's an easy target. Lukaku's an easy target because he's been rubbish. Not because we're just picking on him. He's been rubbish. And Lukaku is an easy target at the moment because of the interview and the fit issues on the pitch. But it isn't everyone at Chelsea's best interest for him to be what he was brought to be. He goes on to say to another fan, you seem to be assuming there's no chance that he can get better with time, familiarity, and some tweaks. I don't know if Chelsea can be an elite attack with Lukaku, but we have a season's worth of evidence to indicate they aren't one without him. There's another thing that I want to show you guys. Johnny Boy Blue put up a tweet in regards to this. Yeah, it was here. Since you're both arguing about what I meant, Tuchel wanted a striker. He didn't bring Lukaku's name to the board, but he was happy that Chelsea went and got him. The problem with calling Lukaku a board signing is it implies Tuchel wasn't happy with it. That isn't true. I mean, what does it matter? What does it matter whether he was a board signing or not? I mean, who cares? Who actually cares? I want to see what else Liam Twomey is saying here. Haaland wasn't available, and in any case, he and Lukaku are actually pretty similar in style and profile. Look, bottom line, what Liam is trying to say is that Lukaku was not a board signing. Lukaku's name was presented to Thomas Tuchel, and Thomas Tuchel agreed. So now the narrative for these journalists is that, well, Thomas Tuchel's just as guilty. Thomas Tuchel's the one that brought in Lukaku. Why is he publicly having a go at Lukaku? He needs to take some blame himself. Thomas Tuchel needs some blame. This is what the journalists are trying to spin. And my response to that, ladies and gentlemen, is that I don't care whether Lukaku was a board signing or whether he was a Thomas Tuchel signing. He's here now. Thomas Tuchel said he wanted a reference up top. He wanted a reference. He wanted a particular striker that's going to bang in goals. He wanted a reference point up top. Okay, we got Lukaku. None of us can, disagree when Lukaku rumors started and he was announced that we were unhappy. Majority were happy. I was happy. I was not disheartened one bit. But the way Lukaku is playing recently since that interview issue, that's got nothing to do with Thomas Tuchel. His sluggish demeanor, Lukaku's sluggish demeanor on field, poor touches, poor finishing, lack of pressing. these are not Thomas Tuchel issues. Of course, Lukaku is not the only issue. Our entire attack is in the mud. But I want you guys to be very, very careful about what these journalists are not putting any blame on Lukaku. They're literally not. They're coming out and actually backing Lukaku and kind of spin the story that it's actually Thomas Tuchel that needs to take some blame. I want to show you what PYS had something really nice. Thomas Tuchel claimed his relationship with Lukaku was now calm, but sources claim that there has been at least one heated conversation between the pair. Chelsea will not be worried yet, as top four status is not in danger and the season could still end on a high. Oh, wow. Look at this. Chelsea will demand at least 20 million and a buyback clause if they are to sell Broja this month. Talks are ongoing. Broja dreams of playing for Chelsea regularly, but he wants to be a starter now. It's mad. We're going to lose another one. It's mad. It really is mad. Thomas Tuchel wanted a point of reference striker and reliable goal scorer. Haaland fit that brief and Chelsea tried to get him. Romelu Lukaku was the only gettable number 9 on the market via Twomey. Thomas Tuchel didn't suggest Romelu Lukaku to the Chelsea board, but he was happy that they got him. Yeah. Bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, Lukaku better start shaping up. He better start shaping up. Our gaffer is not clueless. He knows a lot more about, gameplay, strategy, what needs to be done. Lukaku talks about his multifaceted. The only multifaceted stuff so far I've seen from Lukaku in recent times is the fact that he's sluggish, tying his shoelaces in between the matches. I've not seen anything multifaceted so far. I get annoyed seeing that particular word now, the multifaceted stuff. Let's see what you guys have to say. Sahil, Miz, would you sell Lukaku? You know what? I would. In the summer, if this continues on, I can't have a bad egg. I cannot have a bad egg in the group. And this guy is starting out to be a bad egg. I would sell him. There's a lot of fans that are talking about the board would rather get rid of the manager. It's easier to get rid of the manager as opposed to a player. In this case, if the board is smart, they would keep Thomas Tuchel. I tell you right now, you will not find any top-class manager right now. All the top-class managers are taken. Thomas Tuchel is top 3 top-class managers. The board would be mad to let go of Thomas Tuchel. I would let go every single player before I even think about letting go of Thomas Tuchel. I will be winning a lot of trophies. Thomas Tuchel's already proven. Every competition he's played with Chelsea, we've gone to the final. If the Premier League was like a cup competition, then we'd go to the final of that as well. Eventually, we'll get the Premier League too. Don't you worry. So for me, I would sell Lukaku. I feel like he's a bad egg. Right now, it is what it is. I hope he can change. I don't know about Brighton. Brighton, maybe I'd like to see Havertz back, to be honest. Crook, Tuchel needs to stop the 3 at the back. Look, he probably does because we don't have wing backs. He probably does. Every other club in the world heard the interview, so they know Inter is in desire. Clubs are not mugs. 100%. Guys in the chat, I want to have your perspective. Does this board buy players who are tearing up the league, or do we go for underrated, talented players too? You know what? I would like the board to look at some Premier League players. Rafinha, Dennis, Jared Bowen. I really would like the board to start thinking about Premier League players. There's some really good proven Premier League players out there. We don't need to go out in Spanish League and French League and so on and so forth. There are some big-time ballers in the Premier League that we really need to start considering. Himanshu, thank you so much for the super chat, my man. Miz, I never wanted Lukaku. I said in it, his instinct is biggest false image in football ever. He is an average striker at best. Never rated him. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say I never rated him. I've always known he's a good striker, but I think he's very egotistic. He thinks he's much better than what he really is. He thinks he should be in the conversation with Lewandowski, Messi, Ronaldo. No, mate. You need to calm yourself down. You need to calm yourself down. Musa, yes, Miz, he has to go. CFC for him. What club would buy Lukaku? I think Chelsea was his final big club by the looks of it. Look, I don't know. Whether this will happen or not, I don't know. But if he becomes a rotten egg for Thomas Tuchel, I'd rather this guy go. If the club sacks Thomas Tuchel because of poor results, and this guy is in the back of those poor results, and Thomas Tuchel's out, I'll be so upset. I'll be really so upset. We may have to take a loss. We may have to take a loss, unfortunately. And you know, I don't know. Put a lawsuit on him for that interview that he did. Lukaku scammed us. He really did. He really did. Lawambu. I agree, Miz. Lukaku is now a toxic element with a poor first touch. He needs to go. I feel like Lukaku is one of those players that will go around behind the manager's back and start talking to different players and really become a toxic player in the group. We can't have that. We really cannot have that. Adam Leshen. Miz, what I don't get is why Lukaku doesn't seem to even try and adapt to us. All the time we're talking about us adapting to him when we won the Champions League without him. Exactly. Him talking about being multifaceted. Mate, why don't you adapt to us? We play with a fluid front three. Why can't you be fluid? Why can't you drop deep at times in midfield? Your hold-up has sucked in recent times. You can't even hold the ball up. You don't even win any aerial duels. How many aerial duels did Romelu Lukaku win against those City defenders where Diaz didn't even play? This brother's not even trying lately. I swear he's not even trying. Should we jump all out on Haaland? You know what? Haaland's buyout is 75 million euros. I think euros or pounds. It would be mad not to jump on that. It really would be mad. But we would need to get rid of Lukaku. We would have to get rid of Lukaku. I would sell him bringing drama to the dressing room. Yep. Brett Garlic House, he kneels before each match, raises his fist, and is a certain ethnicity that lefty journalists love to celebrate. No surprise that in their eyes he can do no wrong. You know what? The journalist, I swear to you, if this was Frank Lampard, imagine if Frank Lampard was the manager and Lukaku did all of this. I swear to you, Liam Twomey, Matt Law, and all the other Chelsea correspondents, they would have a different article. We'd be talking about a different article. They'd be absolutely going hard out for Lukaku. They would be criminalizing Lukaku. They would be going after him. But it's not Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard's not the manager. Frank Lampard's on the manager. Himanshu, yeah, I got your super chat. Hope you saw that when I addressed it. If Lukaku was professional and world class, he could adjust his game to what's the problem. 100%. Santiago Jared Bowen means Jared Bowen. I swear to you, such a good player. He was a good player last season. He's having a fantastic season this season. Or we don't talk about these sort of players. Rafinha, Jared Bowen, Dennis from Watford. These are good players, man. Dennis, I swear, some Premier League team, maybe even Liverpool, will take him and he'll become the next Mane. But we Chelsea Football Club, we don't do business like that. We would have been better off with Callum Wilson. Yeah. Sahil Mills, if you can, who would you exchange him with? Right now, Armando Broja. Southampton can get Lukaku. Give us Armando Broja. Armando Broja is doing madness. Armando Broja is absolutely doing a madness. Mills, here's a thought. What if we swap Hazard for Lukaku? I know it's a loss, but it would certainly improve this toxic atmosphere. Okay, it's a good segue. This is a fantastic segue, J. Viv. Let's talk a little bit about Eden Hazard, ladies and gentlemen. Over 190 people live right now. Smash the like button. Get those likes up to 100 immediately. Immediately. We're going to talk about Eden Hazard now. We've talked about Romelu Lukaku. Let me know your thoughts in the comments later on if you want to elaborate more. Just watch the space with the journalist and Romelu Lukaku and Thomas Tuchel. But now let's talk about Eden Hazard. Good segue. Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard reportedly wants to leave Real Madrid. I want to show you guys something. There's a picture that's going around, and you know how Chelsea fan base, they're so sentimental, nostalgic about Eden Hazard. This picture. They won the Super Cup, I think, in the last 24 hours, beating Atletico Bilbao or Madrid or something like that. And this is Eden Hazard's picture. He's very sad. George Benson, this is a photo, is a violation of sport. This cannot go on. I need a winger who can take players on, and I need Eden Hazard out of this hellhole immediately. Bring Eden home. Bring Eden home. Eden Hazard wants to leave Real Madrid, as Sasha Tavolieri reports. Hazard will be open to listen to different clubs, but he's dreaming on a move back to Chelsea. I'll give you my thoughts very, very soon. Eden Hazard is dreaming on a move back to Chelsea. I want to show you what Monster just tweeted a moment ago. Yeah. I love how everyone is skipping over the journo saying Hazard needs an operation in this. As I always say, people don't really read properly. This is true. Sasha Tavolieri. This is the guy who was breaking the news about Eden Hazard. Translation. Eden Hazard wants to leave Real Madrid. His sporting situation is also echoed by his medical situation. While the medical staff recommended a new operation, ladies and gentlemen, while the medical staff recommended a new operation, President Florentino Perez insisted on avoiding it, wishing to play him to sell him. He needs an operation. He needs another operation. Now I'm going to give you my opinion on this particular matter, and then I'll see some of your comments. It's Carefree Tactics in the house. Yeah, he is. Hazard and Lukaku. Pressing will make Tuchel fully bold. Oh my God. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen. Eden Hazard left us. Okay? Not the other way around. We wanted Eden Hazard to stay here. We wanted him to build a legacy. He had everything possible at Chelsea Football Club. He had the fans loving him, fans crying for him, fans in the stadium, outside a stadium, screaming for him. He had it all. He had it all at Chelsea Football Club. Eden Hazard had his life at Chelsea Football Club, and he let everything go because he had a dream to play for Real Madrid. We did not drive Eden Hazard away. I'm sure we can all say somewhere during our lifetime, we all had dreams. I've had dreams. I'm pretty sure you guys have some dreams as well. But sometimes you have to let go of the dream because what you have right now is very, very good. Sometimes you need to think that what I have right now is something I can cherish for a lifetime. And maybe it's okay to let go of my dream. I've dreamt of many things, but I feel what I have right now is great. Hazard left Chelsea when we were in the mud. We had a transfer ban, and we could have done with an Eden Hazard. We could have done with an Eden Hazard. But he left. He left. And you know what? At a point, initially, we were all upset. But we've moved on. He had a dream. And I can see, Zidane was his childhood idol. Sure, okay. You've moved on. You've gone to your childhood idol. You've given everything at Chelsea Football Club. You've won it all. You didn't win the Champions League, but you've done everything else. You want to go and play with your idol, Zinedine Zidane. So you left. You left. You've done everything. You've achieved everything that you could. You were a superstar here. And you left to pursue your dream. And now that your dream didn't work out, and in fact your dream became a nightmare, you have barely played for Real Madrid. You have been injured after injured after injured after injured. You've had operations, this, that, and now you are a shadow of the player that you once were with us. Your time, your tenure at Real Madrid hasn't been good. Your idol got sacked. And now you're getting overshadowed by a player named Vinicius Jr. Does it hurt to see you suffer like this? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I don't want to see a Chelsea legend suffer like that at Real Madrid. I don't want to see that. I wished you luck. I wanted you to achieve everything with Real Madrid. I want you to achieve the Champions League. I wanted you to achieve everything with Real Madrid. La Liga, Copa del Rey, the lot. But now that your situation at Real Madrid, your dream, what you left for, has not worked out, you think you can just walk back into Chelsea? You think it's that simple? You left us in the mud when we needed you. We gave you everything. You left us. And now you think you can just walk straight back in again? Why? Why did you leave? Why did you leave? Your time's gone. Your time's gone. Your time is gone. We need to look for the future now. We need to look forward. Eden Hazard may still be better than any of our attacking options. May still be better than any of our attacking options. But I still wouldn't have him back. His time is gone. his time is gone. This is a good comment. I need to bring this up. TV, really, really good comment here. Don't lie, Miz. You would have took back Robin back over Willian. You're just being a bitter ex. I'm just processing that. Look, Robin, during his time at Bayern Munich, was effing incredible. But that's not the same situation here. Hazard right now is injury prone. He needs another operation. Do we just want Hazard to be a cheerleader in the bench? Do we just want Hazard to be someone in the bench who can cheer us on? Is it just sentimental value? Hazard needs an operation. I don't even know if Hazard's going to be the same Hazard again. Do you guys really think we're going to get that historic Hazard back? Do you think we're going to get that Hazard that left us? No way we will get that. Declared, the core and future of this team are around 23-ish years and age group. Don't know why we are wanting these old players as we are actually still transitioning this team. Exactly. Julian, hello, Miz. Sorry I'm late. I just woke up. Good morning. Have some breakfast. Brush your teeth. Make sure you brush your teeth. Enjoy the stream. Hazard is still better than Pulisic and Ziyech. He probably is. No, not probably. He definitely is. That's if he's fit. That's if we can actually have him on the field. It's not the same Hazard, man. It's just not the same Hazard. And I don't know why we would be going backwards. Annoyed with the notion that Hazard carried Chelsea for 7 years, disregards players such as Terry, Cole, Lampard, Mata, Cesc, Costa, Pedro, Kante, etc., all who contributed to our success. 100%. Look, I'm not going to take anything away from Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard was special. He made following Chelsea Football Club so special. So special. But for me, I don't want him back. I don't want him back, ladies and gentlemen. I want to look for the future. I want to look at future. What are the up-and-coming or, wingers that are hitting their prime? I want to look at them. Eden Hazard is... Let's cherish the moments. Why bring him back and then he may not be good and then the fans are going to go against him? Let's cherish the legacy he's left behind. It's brilliantly kept in that shelf. And I look at that shelf and I go, wow, that's a brilliant... That chapter of Eden Hazard is brilliant. And I want to keep it like that. Why bring him back? He may not be good and we abuse him. We Chelsea Football Club. We know our fans. We like that. We would not keep anyone sacred. If Hazard plays poorly, we would slander him. It wouldn't even take a moment to do that. So for me, let's move on. Let's move on, guys. J Viv, Miz. Yeah, that convinced me. It's better keep his legacy alive. I only want some experienced attacker in our lineup. We really can't attack, bro. It's sad. It is sad. It is sad. It is very, very sad. Pedro, Miz, really curious to know whether you take Chiesa this summer, even if he'll just recover from... Yeah, I'm not sure anymore. I did want Chiesa. I did. I wanted Chiesa to be in our football club in the summer, but yeah, ACL injuries, players don't come back normal after that. So I can't be taking that kind of gamble. I'm sorry. I would have to start looking elsewhere. I'm not a scout. This is why we have scouts. Alex, Ms. Frankie de Jong. I mean, is he really necessary? Kante, Kovacic, Jorginho. We're thinking about Conor Gallagher unless our board sells him as well. Tchouameni. I mean, is it really necessary? Very good player, but that's not what we need. I don't think so. Billy Gilmore. So, yeah. Sharam, Miz, would you take Dybala? He's a very good player, but I would have gone with Chiesa had he not got injured. Dybala, just, I don't know why I feel he's going to be one of those players that's going to come to the Premier League and he's just going to suffer. He will suffer, as Antonio Conte would say. He's a superb player, but I think he's suited for the Italian league. Okay, that's enough about Eden Hazard. Hope you guys got my view. I understand where you guys are coming from, sentimentals and whatnot, but for me, I want to move on. Okay, I want to talk about Christian Pulisic now. Christian Pulisic's dad is doing a madness. But before we do that, guys, we've got over 200 people live. Let's get those likes up to well over 200. We've got 110 likes. Let's get those likes over 200 immediately. 212 people live right now in the building. Thank you so much. Much appreciated for all the support you guys always show me. As I said, I love having these conversations with you guys. You guys are like family, man. Honestly. Even though at times I see a little bit of hate on me on the live chat. Generally, my live chat's pretty good. You guys actually love me. So I appreciate that. And I love you guys back, honestly. Honestly speaking. Even if we disagree at times, I love you guys. This 1 hour or so, it allows me to connect with you guys. It allows me to see what you guys are thinking as well. So it's fantastic. Smash the like button. Get those likes up to well over 200 immediately. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. Do subscribe. Okay, let's have a look what Mr. Pulisic's dad, Mark Pulisic, has been saying. Not only do journalists are trying to put some heat, now we've got players' fathers trying to put some heat as well. I found this very, very interesting. Christian Pulisic's dad, in response to Pulisic being on the list of players that haven't improved by former Chelsea Stadium presenter Neil Barnett. It's quite an easy answer if you look at the positional characteristics and a somewhat easy fix. So Chelsea Stadium presenter Neil Barnett said that Pulisic is one of the players that hasn't improved. And Pulisic's dad is saying it's quite an easy answer, that he hasn't improved. It's quite an easy answer. Look at the positional characteristics and somewhat easy fix. Okay, I just want to quickly show you what I tweeted before I get into your comments and my opinion, even, elaborating it even further. So off the back of that tweet from PYS where Pulisic's dad was saying, he hasn't developed because he plays in different positions and this and that. I can't stress this enough. I'd rather every single player leave before we even contemplate blaming things on Thomas Tuchel. Pulisic playing out of position means one thing, which is surplus to requirements. Let's get Thomas Tuchel the player he needs so he doesn't have to play players out of position. Ladies and gentlemen, Christian Pulisic, this is his third season at Chelsea Football Club. And the only thing significant that I remember about Pulisic is Project Restart under Frank Lampard's first season. That period, he was fantastic. But everything else, it's not anything to really talk about. He has spent more times in the doctor's room than in the field. Christian Pulisic has spent more time in the doctor's room than in the field. And when he came back, he didn't do enough to tie down his position. You may now say, but Miz, he never got the consistent game time. The reason why he's not getting the consistent game time is because he's not been good enough. Chelsea Football Club cannot persevere with a player that's not delivering. Plus, in a situation where there's a lot of competition. Christian Pulisic playing in all these different positions means we don't have the right players for Thomas Tuchel. We need to give him wingbacks. Why is Christian Pulisic playing in wingbacks? Because Thomas Tuchel didn't get to buy wingbacks. Because the board is not backing Thomas Tuchel with wingbacks. Thomas Tuchel in the 4-2-2-2 is playing with wingers where, essentially Pulisic can play. But in the inside forward, they're not really wingers. And at times, Pulisic does play on the left side. Against City, Thomas Tuchel played Pulisic sometimes on the left. There were a lot of times where Ziyech was on the left. But then there were times where Pulisic was on the left as well. Pulisic did nothing in that game. What has Pulisic done significantly this season? Before we even start blaming the manager, or the manager plays him out of position, the manager's got a lot of players to contemplate. Callum plays in the same position. Werner plays in the same position. Pulisic plays in that position as well. Sometimes you could even put Mount in that same position, inside forward role. For me, I could care less. If Christian Pulisic left at the end of this season, so be it. You can go. We need to give Thomas Tuchel the right players. Thomas Tuchel is Champions League winner with Chelsea Football Club, Super Cup winner with Chelsea Football Club, FA Cup runners-up last season with Chelsea Football Club. Now he's in Carabao Cup final with Chelsea Football Club. He's in Club World Cup, and I hope he wins that with Chelsea Football Club. He's still in Champions League second round with Chelsea Football Club. Why is he going to bend over backwards for Pulisic? Why is he going to bend over backwards for Pulisic? Thomas Tuchel believes in a style. He believes in a system that's working for him. Give him the players. Chelsea board, give him the players. If Christian Pulisic is surplus to requirements, let's get rid of him. This is his third season. As I said, Christian Pulisic's best moments was only Project Restart. He wasn't. Frank Lampard was in and out with Christian Pulisic. He was dropping him, bringing him back, dropping him in, bringing him back. And under Thomas Tuchel, Christian Pulisic just never has been able to lock down a position. That's the fact. That's the fact. And if Christian Pulisic is playing in the right wing-back position, well, then it's not the matter of him playing in the right wing-back. It's a matter of the board not giving Thomas Tuchel some wing-backs. Pulisic's biggest plus point is he's young. Let's talk about his skill set now. Let's talk a little bit about his skill set. Christian Pulisic is a great dribbler. But you know what the issue is? He dribbles with his head down. Do you know how many times Christian Pulisic dribbles past 2-3 players, then eventually he loses the ball? Christian Pulisic should be getting a lot more assists. Should be getting a lot more goals. That goal against Liverpool was fantastic, but he should be getting a lot more like that. Mabo. For me, Pulisic has never publicly complained, so I wouldn't take it with too much anger. Pulisic has improved with his injuries and he's played out of position with no moaning. Let's trust Pulisic. Why? Matt, why? What is this love affair for Pulisic? What is this love affair for any players? We need to think about Chelsea Football Club, Matt. We need to think about Chelsea first. What is Thomas Tuchel doing? What is his ideology? Does he want to play with wing backs? Does he want to play with wingers? How does he want to play? What does he need? Why is it Christian Pulisic? What do you need? Christian Pulisic, how do you want Chelsea to play so that we can get the best out of you? Why? What is the affiliation for fans to be so stuck with a player when we should be stuck with the club? So what if Pulisic hasn't publicly complained? So what? Who cares? Who cares if he did? So what that he's not moaning? That's not the issue. The fact is he's surplus to requirements. That's the fact. Thomas Tuchel doesn't need a Christian Pulisic. Thomas Tuchel needs a wing back. Thomas Tuchel needs a left wing back and a right wing back. Thomas Tuchel needs a goal-scoring winger. We're not here to create charity. We're not here for charity. Oh, he hasn't moaned and he hasn't complained. So let's keep him. Let's keep him. Timo Werner, his attitude is good. Even though he's technically so inept, his attitude is good. Let's keep him. What is this? What kind of a football club is this now? What have we turned into? CFC Riley, I couldn't care less about players. I'm not attached to any of them. I want to win. And if that means get rid of them all, then let it happen. Yeah. For me, Thomas Tuchel is the centerpiece. Thomas Tuchel is the centerpiece. If you don't believe this yet, then you're going to struggle. Thomas Tuchel is the centerpiece, and then from there, whatever happens, happens. Christian Pulisic is not the centerpiece. We don't build a team around Christian Pulisic. We don't build a team around Romelu Lukaku. We don't build a team around Timo Werner. These players better pattern up. These players better start listening to what the gaffer's saying. Pulisic has done nothing to me to say that I need to build a team around him. Christian Pulisic is inconsistent. But yeah. Imad. Sacking managers are not the answer. Board needs to be changed and managers need to involve in signing new players. Look, the board has done some madness and they're still doing some madness. It is what it is. And I don't want to be too harsh because I want to see what they do with Thomas Tuchel. I hope the board realizes that they've got themselves a gem of a manager that can win a lot of trophies. We're about winning trophies, and so far Thomas Tuchel has not disappointed us. We were on track in the Premier League up until Chilwell got that injury. The whole pandemic situation, we had so many players testing positive, yet the Premier League did not postpone any of our matches. Now Arsenal getting matches postponed for one player testing positive. Then we had Reece James gone. Do you understand the amount of adversities Thomas Tuchel has had to face? Then he's had his talisman doing a sneak interview preview, doing his whole heap of interview, laughing and giggling about Inter Milan and how he loves Lautaro. Thomas Tuchel has had to face a lot of stuff that I swear to you, I've not seen other managers face. And yet, look how humble Thomas Tuchel is in every press conference. Look how humble he is when he's talking post-match. Look how humble. Thomas Tuchel is so transparent. He's talking to us. He's talking to us in press conferences and post-match. We are blessed to have a manager like Thomas Tuchel, who's so open. Thomas Tuchel's not hiding anything. Look at the way he controlled the Lukaku situation. Look at the way he's controlling the whole pandemic situation where our matches are not getting postponed, and literally every other club. Leicester apparently played a Premier League game 20 days ago. Liverpool had 13 players false positive. We got referees that are giving penalties against us for solid tackles. Lukaku tackles outside the box, penalty. Kepa tackles brilliantly to Harry Kane, penalty. Thomas Tuchel cannot leave. Every other player can leave. It's as simple as that. Sahil, Miz, is Tuchel the best Chelsea manager ever? He would have to be up there. For me, Jose Mourinho, because I'm an old school fellow, man. Those Jose days, the first stint, that was incredible. We broke all sorts of records there. But Thomas Tuchel's getting there. Any manager that can win a Champions League with us, halfway through the season when we were in the mud, that goes a long way. But yeah, that's my thoughts about Christian Pulisic. I wish him well. I really do. I hope Christian Pulisic does well. I hope he kills it. I absolutely hope he annihilates it. I wish him always the best. Whenever he starts for us, whenever he comes off the bench, I wish him the best. But I don't have any love affair. I don't have any love affair. Fox CFC. Time for a truth bomb on Ziyech, Miz. Just like I wanted Ziyech to kill it in the Prem, but unfortunately it's not meant to be. Yeah, perhaps. Look, I've been talking about Ziyech a lot. Whether it's my watch-alongs, whether it's, even in my reviews, previews, I've said he's not been good. He can go too. I love him, man. I love him. It's a different love. I've got a different love affair for Ziyech. It's emotionally attached. But I'm not delusional. I know he hasn't been good, and I wouldn't be surprised if he goes at the end of the season. In fact, he probably needs to go. He's just way too inconsistent. Inconsistent. Okay. Last but not least, let's talk about this particular player now. See if I can bring this up. Andreas Christensen, ladies and gentlemen. Andreas Christensen. This is the latest on Andreas Christensen. So this was tweeted out by Bad Boy Fabrizio Romano, Mr. Bad Boy, January 15th, a couple of days ago. Andreas Christensen's situation. Barcelona and FC Bayern are both strongly interested in signing him. Club sources confirm. Chelsea proposal still on the table, but there's no agreement. Nothing has changed. Final decision to be made soon. More about Andreas Christensen. Also, Premier League clubs approached him as potential free agent signing, but Christensen wants to respect Chelsea. He's not going to consider any English club proposal. Barcelona, Bayern leading the race. Decision to be made soon. Thank you. Thank you so much, Christensen. You're not going to consider any English club proposal. You respect us. How about the fact that we gave you all of these contract offers and you haven't signed? You wanted a particular contract and we gave you that. Then you had your change of mind. Then we changed the contract for you. Then you had your change of mind again. I don't think you've really respected us too much. For me, Christensen, you can go. This is what I commented. But some Chelsea fans want me to get on my knees and beg for him to stay. Ha 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 ha. Man wants to leave, so leave. He wants to leave. Like, it's not even him getting driven out. Chelsea's given him the contract extension. Chelsea's done everything that needs to be done, has listened to him. And he's just testing the waters. He keep wanting to test the waters. It has nothing to do. There are certain parts of the fan base are getting mad that, are we forgetting what Christensen did? Thiago Silva was injured in that Champions League final, and then Christensen came in and did a magnificent job in the Champions League final, won us the Champions League, so on and so forth. I thank you for all of your efforts. Andreas Christensen, you've been a top defender under Thomas Tuchel. Let's not muck around about that. There's no two ways about that. It has nothing to do with your performances. You've been a very good defender. But at the end of the day, you're the one who wants to leave Chelsea Football Club, not the other way around. Chelsea Football Club has given you the contract extensions. You keep ignoring it. You keep testing the waters. You can go. You're confused. You don't know. You've even said you want a new challenge. You can go. Have the new challenge. I want to see how Christensen does when he leaves Thomas Tuchel. It wasn't that long ago, literally 12 months ago, when Frank Lampard was still around. Christensen was error-prone every match. I still haven't forgotten last season, Sadio Mane, Liverpool, Christensen. Didn't he get a red card? I remember Christensen made a lot of mistakes. Not just him, a lot of our defenders did under Frank Lampard. But I want to see what you are capable of doing. Bayern Munich, Barcelona. Sure, Barcelona. You'd go to Barcelona. Barcelona's Europa level now. Bayern Munich, yeah, okay. If you can get a role in Bayern Munich, fine. Fraser Zero is saying, check out PYS's tweet. Let's see what PYS says. Which one, man? Yeah, Broja. We already saw that, Fraser. We saw that. It's mad about Broja. I'll probably do a separate video. I mean, I have recently done a video on Armando Broja leaving. Do check that out. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Christensen can go. Sahil, my man, I saw your tweet. Saw your comment, man. It's all right. Relax with the spamming. Maybe Barca is the level of his mentality. Maybe. That's if Barca can register more players. He may suit that Barca style. He may suit that. Like, he's very good ball-playing defender. Good long passes, good short passes. He's a good player. But he doesn't want to be at Chelsea. He wants to go somewhere else. So be it. Bayern Munich, I think he'll be a good defender. But let's see. Let's see what happens. He's not irreplaceable for Chelsea. We can definitely get other defenders. Jules Koundé is in the cards. We should hopefully get that. Levi Colwell should come back, be a backup. So I'm not worried. I'm not worried one bit. Victor, hey bro, I support your full analysis on Chelsea FC. Andreas Christensen can leave the club. He's ungrateful and disrespectful to the organization. There you go. There you go. Matthew Lee Benjamin, Rudiger is actually better than AC with the ball at his feet. Rudiger is a supreme defender. Yeah, I would definitely say he's better than Christensen. There's no doubt about that. CFC Fahim wants a new challenge. Fair enough. We shouldn't beg players to stay. City do that. Well, exactly. City never begs any players. If you want to go, you can go. If you want to go, you can go. So I've got no issues with that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, nearly 250 of you guys are live. Get those likes up to well over 200. We're going to end the stream. Hope you guys have really enjoyed this. We talked about Lukaku. Be careful about what the journalists are trying to spin up with this whole Lukaku situation, trying to blame Thomas Tuchel. We talked about Eden Hazard, sentimental views, my views, so on and so forth. We talked about Christian Pulisic. We talked about Christensen. Hope you guys have really enjoyed this stream. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time, subscribe, and hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. We'll drop the preview for the Brighton game. It's going to be an exciting preview. I'm a bit worried about the Brighton game. So you do want to look out for that Brighton preview, which will drop around, let's say, 8:30-ish p.m. UK, 8:30-ish p.m. UK later tonight. So do look out for that. Obviously, press conference happening in an hour. I'm going to head to bed because it's 11:42 p.m. I'll wake up, I'll watch the press conference, and then I'll do the video. Do make sure you check the preview out. It's going to be interesting. And then obviously we've got the watch along for the Brighton game. Steve Hesse, fantastic show. Thank you so much. Truly appreciate it. Hope you guys have all enjoyed it. CFC Fahim, big up, Miz. Thank you. Until next time, everyone, take care and see ya. Catch you around.